I handed a flower to the silent, crying alien woman. Her reaction was unbelievable. The field outside the ruins of Juno Base was quiet, scorched by war, but still stubbornly growing things. Wild grass, small vines, and occasional resilient bloom that somehow survived the alien bombings. Peace had returned in fragments, but sorrow lingered. That's where I first saw her. She sat alone on a piece of broken machinery, knees drawn to her chest. Her long, silvery hair was tangled and dull. Her armor, once sharp and gleaming, hung in pieces, and her shoulders trembled in silence. An alien woman, alone, crying. No sound came from her lips, but her eyes, they streamed with silver tears. I had seen her kind before. The Allery, proud warriors from the Vega Quadrant. They rarely cried, never in public, and never near humans. But there she was. I should have walked away. I was just a supply technician, not a soldier, not anyone important. But something about her made me stop. She didn't flinch when I approached, didn't lift her head. She just stared at the cracked soil, and at her feet, a single flower had grown through the metal plates of the ground, bright yellow, untouched. I knelt, plucked it gently, and reached out. Her tearful eyes slowly turned to me. No words, no hostility, just raw, aching confusion. I held out the flower. "For you?" I said softly. She blinked. Her lips parted slightly. She didn't move. Then, with trembling hands, she took the flower like it was made of light. And then she gasped, not a sound of fear, but awe. She held the flower like it was the first kind thing she had ever received. And then she began to shake. A sound slipped from her throat, barely audible at first, then growing into a strange melodic hum. Her tears stopped. Her chest rose and fell faster, and her eyes glowed faintly. "Are you okay?" I asked. She nodded, then finally spoke. This is what humans give. "Sometimes," I said, nervous, "when someone's sad, or when we care." She stared at the flower, her long fingers stroking each petal as if memorizing it. "My people, we do not give such things. We offer blades, fire, or silence." "Sounds lonely." "It is," she whispered. She looked up again. "You are kind." I sat beside her. We said nothing for a while. Eventually, I learned her name, Valyra. She was an elite tactician in the Allery fleet, captured during the war and later released after the peace accords. But no one came for her. Her people saw captivity as shame. So she was left behind, discarded. "I remained here," she said, "because I had nowhere else to go." "You do now," I told her without thinking. Her eyes widened. "You would allow me to remain?" "Of course. You're not alone anymore." She clutched the flower to her chest. "Then I shall protect this." I smiled. "It's just a flower." "To you," she said softly, "but to me, it is proof that someone saw me." Over the next few days, Valyra began to change. She started coming to the field every morning, sitting where the flower had been. Sometimes I bring her new ones, different colors. She collected them like treasures, kept them wrapped in cloth inside a small case, pressed each one between pages of an old notebook I gave her. "Do humans always give flowers?" she asked one day. "Not always, but we give them when it matters." "Then I shall learn to give, too." Weeks passed and she stayed. She helped rebuild the outer wall, patched wounded droids, even spoke to human children who wandered near the ruins. She didn't smile, not quite, but she no longer cried. And then, one morning, I found something on my bunk. A strange, alien bloom, blue and glowing faintly. No note, but I knew. Valyra had given me a flower. And to her people, that must have meant everything. Then came the day the Allery emissary arrived. A transport ship descended without warning, carrying a diplomatic unit. Their leader was tall, armored, face stern. He walked directly to Valyra. "You are recalled," he said flatly. "You may return home. Your exile is lifted." She stood quietly, flower case in hand. Then she looked at me. "I do not wish to return." The emissary's face twisted. "You disgrace your lineage further." "No," she said calmly. "I have found something you cannot give." He stepped forward, glaring. "You choose this human's world over your own?" Valyra turned to him and said, with absolute clarity, "I choose someone who gave me a flower when I was forgotten." The emissary left without her, and from that day, she stayed not as a refugee, not as a warrior, but as someone learning what it meant to heal. Valyra and I would sit in the field each morning. Sometimes we'd speak. Sometimes we just watched the flowers grow through the cracks. She taught me her songs. I taught her how to smile. And once, just once, she reached out and placed a yellow flower in my hair and whispered, "Now, we are both seen."